Hello, I'm Mark Meir, the voice of Commander Shepard, and Galactic Battles is my favorite fan film on the internet. Don't tell the other fan films I said that.
Hey everyone, I'm Calvin Romain, and welcome to Behind the Scenes for Galactic Battles. Hey guys, I'm Calvin Romain, Director of Galactic Battles, and this is Behind the Scenes.
I'm Barry Ostash, Commander Shepard.
And I'm Nick Romick. I did the PR and marketing and some of the executive producing. I don't know, if we had to pay for everything, I know like a lot of film stuff that I do now, camera, lighting, all that other rentals for all that stuff, that would have been over $2,000 just to rent the camera.
Totally.
Like we used a Blackmagic 4K that CG Masters gave us, or lent us for the shoot, which is big, and then we had gear-based rentals give us all that stuff, even a Swift jib, everything. It was interesting. I think a lot of people just thought it was going to be cool, but they didn't think it was going to be like when people saw the effects, they were just like, "Wow, that's crazy!"
Yeah.
Like they did not expect it, and
I
I'm
didn't
glad.
even expect it to be that good.
Yeah.
First time I saw it, I was like, "Holy fucking shit. This is our movie?"
Well, that's
like,
good.
wow.
Yeah.
I mean, after 3 years, an
Yeah.
hour of hard work, and especially yours, but I'm just like, I'm not disappointed. I hope people aren't disappointed. And then we see it, and it just blows your fucking mind.
It was definitely fun, like working on some of those big shots where we had lots of of ships in the same scene, but from different franchises. Like, for me as like a VFX artist, to be able to like put in the scene and like take like the Star Destroyer, the design is so iconic and so perfect, and the silhouette is so good for lighting. You put it anywhere and it looks good. And then as soon as you put in like the Enterprise beside it, putting all the ships in and like thinking of creative ways, like be the one shot where the Millennium Falcon goes through the Vengeance.
What made me really proud of it is the fact that, I mean, I've seen some people do fan films and stuff, but nobody has done it to the level that we did it, because you could see, with spaceships right up close, you got flying around, explosions everywhere, pieces of
There's
ship
so
going
much
all over.
involved, like,
Yeah, and you just don't get that kind of marriage of like them colliding with each other.
Like originally, when you had started the project, you had this idea of having the right scale for all these ships and seeing them in scale together. But I think it was as soon as we decided, like I remember like vividly thinking about Garrus and Shepard in the Normandy and being like, what would that look like in a real movie? Like if someone was to make a Mass Effect movie, what would it look like? Like what would the lighting look like? What would the cinematography look like? It's never been done. And so that, for me, that was the very first thing. I was like, we have to do live action. We can't just do ship comparisons and ships fighting. We have to do live action. Having a full CG character that looked photoreal standing next to an actor.
Yeah.
And then cutting to the outside. And
When you said live action, I was like kind of skeptical, but I'm glad you did, because it was just like, it looked it was awesome. Like no one's ever seen Commander Shepard in the flesh.
In the flesh.
Totally.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
Garrus as well. That was another thing I was skeptical about. I was like, do we put a
Symbiosis.
full CG character in here?
Yeah. Having the live action like grounded it in a way that it wasn't just ships flying around. Everyone's done that. Everyone's seen that. But having the live action all of a sudden took it to this level of like, okay, we're doing a short film, but it's also like a huge VFX spectacular that you've never seen. So it's combining the two things, it's like the short film and then the nerdy battle thing, like who would win. But like every single shot is green screen. Literally every single shot is green screen. There's the Doctor Who scene at the very end, but the rest of it is green screen, and we had like sets built for every single ship to scale, measured out on the floor and in the studio and stuff.
Yeah, I remember Keith was like had his computer and he was like looking at the 3D model. He's like, you're walking through something and then drawing stuff on the board like with tape, and it was like, He's
So
very.
there's a station right here. You just walk through it. And
Yeah.
You go around it.
Go around this. Yeah. It
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joker. Like
Yeah.
Ian Matheson, my friend who played Joker. I was like, just do this, like do things. And he's like, but what am I doing? I'm like,
You can't just look
I
like-
don't know. Like I sent him a bunch of references of the game and stuff, and I was like, just do something and we'll figure it out. Don't worry, we'll track your hand. So I'm like sitting like a year later on my computer, like following his fingers and like moving rotor shapes and masks and stuff to try to like trace his fingers and his hand motions to like make some sense of it.
Commander, judging by the reading I'm getting, this relay appears to be very unstable. Sure you want to risk it?
I actually went to the dollar store and got a bunch of those big foam boards. And I taped a whole bunch of them together and cut them, and I just made this shadow that was just kind of like an L, like, you know,
Like a
it looked like a
window.
windowsill.
Yeah.
Right.
And we had the light on one side, and then we had people going back and forth, and then we also had people moving the lights to simulate not only are you flying past it, but you're actually moving around the sun, so that when in the Millennium Falcon you're getting, you know, the location of the sun's moving because you're moving, and then also this is moving, so you're getting those realistic
That was
lighting.
really hard to choreograph too.
Who was
Oh
it?
yeah, we have one of John. John, get in here.
flashing.
This is Jonathan Fung. He is the warp tunnel.
Yes,
You're gonna see what I mean in a
I
second.
held color
Sounds
paper
kind of dirty.
and just kind of wiggled it around.
This is the warp tunnel here.
There's talent at our fingertips.
I don't know how we fluked out on so many like rad people who were just like insanely talented.
Yeah.
Like
So
the
well.
Garrus, the guys who made the Garrus, and then the guy who modeled the entire Enterprise, like every single switch. And it was so heavy. And the Millennium Falcon
There were
cockpit,
a
the
lot-
entire cockpit, every switch, every little dot, every little button is modeled. It's not textured, it's like all modeled.
There's a lot of comments that said like how amazing the Enterprise was.
Yeah, a lot of people were like,
The-
the set, a lot of the
Even the
bridge.
Millennium Falcon.
Bridge.
Bridge. A lot of people were like, where did you get that set from? We're like,
Yeah.
it's CG.
Completely
it's
made up.
green screen. Like,
It took forever to render
It's
that.
amazing, and that's.
I remember working on some of the Millennium Falcon cockpit shots, and every time it was like a side view, I would just select the entire opposite side and just delete it. Because it was so heavy and it was calculating the balances of everything. So I would like set up the camera, I would put the plate in, and then I'd cut out exactly where I was and just delete all the other polygons because it was so incredibly heavy, such a dense mesh that would
It
just
was
take
nuts.
years to render. Like the Millennium Falcon, like if I rendered the entire cockpit on a wide, like there's that one crane shot that pulls out. I think one frame took like 10 hours or something to render. And that was like optimizing the scene, like fully optimizing, like bare bones rendering, like hack everything in comp. One of the very first things that I thought of when I was like thinking about like how all the franchises would come together is I had this idea of Halo 2 where Master Chief sends the bomb back to the Covenant, and I had this idea of like Master Chief and Halo jumping out of the Normandy from Mass Effect, holding the red matter from Star Trek, destroying the Death Star from Star Wars, and that to me, that was like Galactic Battles. Like that's what everything
Yeah,
that Galactic Battles
encompassment.
is exactly.
Yeah.
It was like we have to have one scene where you get an element from each thing all working together. In the shots, he's like supposed to be towering over. He's much shorter, so we had him standing on apple boxes. But for then the wide shot, he actually turned around. We had to actually like scale him up and like make him bigger. And there was a lot of the other shots too. A lot of them it worked out with just the apple box.
Yeah.
But there's some shots where he had to actually make him bigger.
Yeah.
And, like scale him up.
I'd really like to give a shout out to all the people that helped us out as far as actors and stuff like that. We had Belinda Cornish who did the intro.
Earth 2655.
She's the voice of Yennefer from Witcher and a couple other video games. She's also Mark Meer's wife. And Mark Meer, of course, the original voice of Commander Shepard from the video games.
What's it saying? What's it saying?
Being friends with Mark and asking him to be involved because he was the original.
Yeah, I think that's the cool thing is that you had always wanted Mark to be part of, and you were kind of running it as this it was more of a narration thing, like he was doing voiceovers for the ships or whatever.
Be
you weren't really ever going to see him.
Feeding that stuff to the Normandy. I have an idea. We need to get to our ships. Give them hell! What was that? How was level on that? I didn't go too high.
So I couldn't see because
Oh, okay.
And then when I started, I was like, man, we got to do some live action stuff. And there's this random guy named Barry who's on the project doing.
Shepard.
And I was like, all of a sudden, I saw him on Facebook. I was like, man, this guy looks like Shepard. Like, he's got the right hair, the right build.
Should I? Give them hell!
When I said to Mark, I was like, hey, we're doing this thing, we'd like to see if we can get your voice. And then he's like, okay, that's awesome, that sounds great. But I was like, but you know what, we got to get you to do a sample of it so that we know you're the right sound for us. And he's like, lol.
Now's our chance, Joker. Bring us in.
Hi, I'm Ian Matson, and I play Joker on Galactic Battles.
I'm Sam Romaine, and I'm playing Garrus for Galactic Battles.
I'm Kev Hickman. I got to play Master Chief!
My name is Shane Hines, and I'm doing a voice recording for Master Chief for Galactic Battles.
This is Spartan 117, Master Chief's log.
Captain, we have a special novel we're working on.
We have to get back to our ships. Captain Keyes, Master Chief, come with me to the Normandy.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Prepare to jump to light speed. She's a ship that made a castle run less than 200
The astromech aboard the Millennium Falcon has found coordinates to a human space station behind one of Jupiter's moons. Drive core electrical charge has reached critical levels since the moon.
That's great, we'll just a little bit faster.
Okay. Drive core electrical charge has reached critical levels, Mr. Monroe. Drive core electrical charge has reached critical levels, Mr. Monroe.
Rerouting.
That was a joke. That was a joke. That was a joke. That was a joke.
Let's try like that was a joke.
Okay, that was a joke. Correct. The subsequent singularity should be large enough to destroy the enemy ships. Correct. The subsequent singularity should be large enough to destroy the enemy ships.
We just need to get you close enough.
It will also destroy the human space station and all surrounding planets. That was a joke.
She does that.
Cortana, scene 7, take 1.
Hi, my name's Courtney, also not so well known as Purple Rogue Cosplay across the interwebs. I play Cortana.
Cortana. All I need to know is, who are they?
Scanning. Unidentified in our system.
Are they hostile?
Unknown. Shall we give our friend a warm welcome?
So my dear friend Kevin Hickman, who is Master Chief, got the part and was celebrating, and they were going to be showcasing him at a local meetup. And Kevin was such a dear towards the middle. He introduced me to Calvin, the director. They seemed to be interested, so they asked me to do some readings just to make sure I sounded the part.
We just need to get you close enough.
I got to be a part of having them take a 3D image of me with, I think it was something like 350 cameras surrounding me so that they could create like a proper CG version of me. I unfortunately did not get to be with the other live actors when they were filming because I was against a green screen, so they actually filmed me at a later weekend once they had most of the basic storyboarding of where I was looking, who I was looking at, that kind of stuff done. So that was one little downside, to be like, hey, I'm the one you're looking at when you're staring at that box.
Cortana. All I need to know is, who are they?
Okay, so when I'm behind the camera, I'm like, okay, Barry, so you're looking out there, you're seeing Reapers. Like, what are you telling yourself as an actor? Like, how are you getting Like,
I
how are
just
you
envision it. I've
you're
had a
seeing
crazy imagination since I was born. So if somebody tells me like, imagine this, I'm just like, oh my god, they come, you know, and you just
Reapers. Reapers.
No problem, buddy. By the way, where's Chewbacca?
Oh, he's celebrating Life Day on Kashyyyk.
Life Day?
He's joking. He's helping Luke fix 3PO.
I played Han and my wife played Leia. And that was like fun. It was just like, we're not actors at all, obviously, as you can see.
You guys were so mean.
I mean, I acted in high school and stuff like that.
I didn't think it was that bad.
But it was hard. It was hard. Like
just harsh.
for you guys, like it was hard to like look at nothing and be like, what am I doing? And like, and you're supposed to be like piloting the ship.
But it's on top of that. I mean, it's like you were doing acting to nothing.
Yeah,
like the rest of
when you
us
had
like having
nothing to
to
react
fake
to.
it
Green
completely.
screen.
Yeah.
So we had music stands, and I taped like I got some gaffer tape and I taped an Etch-a-Sketch and like a mic and like a pen, and I was like, okay, those are things you can touch. So, like turning wheels. I think it was like Sulu was doing. I had it in mind as well, turning wheels and like. And we had like this like little microphone that was just like that was the hyperdrive thing. I was like, okay, we're gonna go to hyperdrive now.
Like
and it was like, and I remember like Michelle Key, who she did second unit directing, and I remember her just yelling on set like, okay, explosions, TIE fighters, and I'm just like, and I have nothing to hold on to. Like, we didn't have the money. There's a music stand. I'm like, okay, and they're like, someone behind me like shaking my chair like this.
Yeah, I was down there shaking it. From
yeah, you were like laying on the ground like trying to be out of the ground. I'm like.
TIE fighters on, sun, come towards me. Boom! Boom! Okay, and TIE fighters attack! Okay, wait, stop. The shakers look fake. It looks like it's just like a roller coaster.
The Nazi uniform?
We had to talk about the Nazi uniform. Everybody hated the Nazi uniform. I had $100 to get a uniform, and I went to the place that has all the military uniforms. I was like, hey, here's a picture of what I need. Get me something close to that, and then we're going to paint out the Nazi flags. And every single person on the internet knew that it was a Nazi uniform somehow.
I didn't know. I was like, oh, cool. It's like a maybe World War II something. I'm not a big huge fan.
Maybe they won't notice.
Everyone knew the exact type of officer he was.
Yeah.
Based on his ribbons.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun on set. I mean, we were meant to be having fun.
Yeah. The movie was about battles and good guys with good guys. And then us filming it was like if after the fight, after this big battle thing, we all just said, hey, let's go to a bar, you know.
It's like the Avengers shawarma.
Oh, I concur. They're like playing foosball.
It's okay, guys. Still rolling.
3, 2, 1. That sounded like that hurt.
Boom! Cut. What's up?
Mark it.
Light up.
Yep.
Light on set, please. And, action. That's a cut. That's a cut, Mr. Spock.
I want to talk about the musical score.
Yeah.
That is a big one. That was like
music. Such a big thing.
Hello, I'm Jose Pavli and I'm the composer for Galactic Battles. So we managed to record a tiny bit of the soundtrack at Angel Studios in London. And when we compared it, everyone in the team agreed that the soundtrack was totally different when played by people, real people.
I told him, I was like, I kind of want it to sound like Avengers, like kind of like everyone coming together, like victorious, and that would be kind of the main theme, and then we'd have like, you know, motifs from each of the franchises.
Because all those talented musicians have such great skills in what they are doing, and they are bringing in their own feelings, their own soul to the music, and I think it makes it alive.
He sent me this theme, and it was just like perfect right away. I was just like, what? Like, you just did that in like a day or two? And that was with like on his computer, and then he ended up having access to an orchestra, and he conducted and composed an entire musical score.
Obviously, people who are waiting for this to be released have heard the proper soundtrack from all this franchise. They heard it played by a proper orchestra. And I think for this kind of score, it changes everything to have a real orchestra.
So if you contribute to this project, thank you so much. We could not have done it without you.
Thank you.
People don't realize how much work and how many people were involved in making this film. Everything was from scratch. Every shot had so much work put into it. I mean, even the orchestra. The music, it's not pre-recorded tracks. They're not samples. It was written for this film and executed perfectly. I'm really proud of this movie. And I personally want to thank again everyone who helped and contributed and watched and is loving it as much as we do. Thank you.
They're like, whoa, wait a minute, something's wrong.
Wait a minute.
Your head
That's
kind of goes
Commander
weird.
Shepard.
So that's the shot I was telling you, Barry.
I love that one too.
Yeah, so that's the shot. You can actually
it's so
see
epic. It's just like
you can see the halo ring in like a couple frames. You can see that.
Yeah. So pretty.
Some of these wide shots, I had to scale the Millennium Falcon up like quite a lot because it was, if you use the true scale, it was like a dot, like a tiny dot. You never see it.
Just magic. So. Yep. I think there was like a lot of. I love the reveal of Master Chief.
Yeah, Master Chief.
Oh. I remember the trailer that we did. Remember we did the trailer?
Yeah, that's like the last shot.
Wake him up.
Yeah, we did. Well, with the trailer, we didn't show him because it was.
Right.
Master Chief
until after the credits.
Yeah, we had to paint him out of the actual shot. So
you wanted to reveal him out that
Yeah,
last
the
shot.
reveal. Yeah, it was kind of neat.
Yeah, even the trailer was good. Spot on.
But like some of these shots,
I love some of these close-ups.
They just look like you couldn't convince me if I hadn't seen the whole process that's actually green screen.
Yeah, well, David. Part of that is David Kelso, the DOP, who lit those and chose the lenses and stuff, and it just looks phenomenal.
Connor had good personality too.
Conrad is great. Yeah, he's a great Kirk.
Yeah,
he's got so much charisma and likability.
Yeah.
Oh, here's my fantastic actor.
Somebody asked me recently, like they thought that, I don't know who it was, but they said they thought that it was like actually the real actor in there.
Who's this one?
Conrad. They're like, how did you get the real Kirk in there? I was like, that's not the real Kirk. I was like,
You gotta cut that part out where I call him Connor.
Yeah.
Sorry, Conrad.
It's all this gooey stuff. It's pretty fun to work on.
Yeah.
He's so intense, that Calvin.
It's just so like.
I love this shot too.
Yeah.
Chris McCrory.
I would have loved to like create all the sets and stuff, but I think this is part of the.
It's funny too that last shot where I'm like, I have an idea. We had to
shot in
film
my
it.
garage.
We forgot about it or whatever.
We forgot about
No, we had to film it in your garage. Yeah.
During our like
We're just over hanging out.
Yeah,
or whatever.
it was. Yeah. It was
by the
during
way,
our-
Barry, we got to do it in the scene, and I'm like,
I was like, Barry, you need to come down to my garage. We need to
I don't
reshoot
have
this.
my shit. I don't have my.
I just hung up. I remember I hung up a green sheet over top of like my garage door over there or something.
Guerrilla style. Just.
You don't have to worry about echoes or anything like that because of the fact that
It's been
Mark
processed so
did
much.
Yeah.
Once you know, you can tell. But.
I remember that. Oh yeah, this is it. I remember that sequence when we had to do the falling over in Enterprise and everyone had to like time it. We're like, okay, everyone, 1, 2, 3, fall over.
Oh my god, how many shots
we
did
did
you
so
people going
many
this way
times.
and that way?
People
like,
going the wrong ways and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
People falling backwards. Yeah, that was. I think that was at the end of the day, wasn't it? We were all getting all. Like,
Oh, we were so tired.
Everyone was being
Like,
silly.
guys, just
You're all
Give him hell.
Yeah. It's like a reaction video of us.
I like the part where he's like, damn it, chill on the doctor. No, the other one. This something timeline is getting real confusing.
Yeah, that was a big one.